Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is a little bit different than usual, but I promise I'm here. I'm off camera today just because I felt like it, and I also haven't showered, so that's exciting. But I am dressed today, so one win in the column, okay? Today's been a bit of a weird one. How have your guys' days been? Did you understand that sentence? If you did, 10 points. How are you doing? That's what I meant to say. I am all over the place. So I wanted to talk a little bit before we start about how the last few weeks have been, because I've been working really hard on a book, and yesterday I submitted all of the interiors revised. So there is the possibility that they could just be like, cool, you're done. There is obviously a probably larger possibility that they'll come back with some minor tweaks for me to change stuff. And so I just wanted to kind of cleanse that period of time. I don't know if you guys know what it's like to have a deadline of a huge project like that, but it's all encompassing. And in the last week alone, I don't think I've drawn for myself at all. And so what I really want to do today is just do stuff for me. One big thing about that is digital versus traditional. I've been working primarily in fresco for this book, and I spent all of yesterday in Photoshop formatting stuff for print, so I am just teched out. I really just want to draw and paint. So I'm gonna once again flip through our traditional sketchbooks that were gifted to me by my friend Julia, and we've been slowly working on some stuff in just for funsies, having a good old time. Some of them are trash, and then some of them are really pretty. So that's just the way it goes. And I want to jump into that world again and just be okay with trash and okay with pretty. So that's what we're doing today. Some of these are obviously unfinished. Some of them are really finished. I don't know. It's all over the place. So I encourage you to get out some paper and some whatever materials you want to use. I know I'm going to be hopping around a lot with my materials today because I have all of them. I have a lot of materials now. And I got even more for my birthday. Anthony actually got me some colored Micron pens. So they are... Let's see here. We've got purple, brown, green, red. I think there's one more in here. I think it's just straight up black. So we have, oh, there's blue. Ha! Okay, we've got even more than I thought. Just the possibilities are endless. So we can really have fun with all of the materials today. What I'm going to do is always ask myself, is this what I want to do? Because that's the driving force here. Here's another one of our sketchbooks just to leaf through real quick. And yeah, I want to know how you guys are doing, because it's been a while since we got to hang out. Oh, and by the way, Anthony isn't here today because he is still feeling a bit under the weather, unfortunately. So I of course, anybody who needs rest, please take it. Please just do yourself a solid and rest as much as you possibly can and make sure that you feel well. Same goes for Anthony. I know that you guys are all sending him well wishes on the Discord. Thank you so much for that. Rin says, you've got this, Anna. Totally understand needing some you time after a huge project. Absolutely. And I would encourage everybody else to do it as well. Hey, Adobe Live. Thanks for simulcasting us. If you have just hit the home screen of Behance and are stumbling onto this stream, hi, I'm Anna Davis-Court. You can't see my face, but this is my hand. And I am an illustrator and a streamer. So you can see all my art process here. Today we're working traditionally. So if that's not your bag, totally fine. And if it is, or if you're just curious about it, let me show you the joys of traditional media, because quite fun stuff can happen. So this is my most recent piece. I don't know. It's like, it was a doodle when I was talking with my friends on a video chat. And it was also my first TikTok, you guys. I started a TikTok. Woo. This is the only thing on it so far. And it was basically just before and after of this. And it was a really fun little doodle to just make loopy trees. And that's kind of, I don't care necessarily about this piece, but I do love the feeling behind it, where it just embodies that, like, I'm just going to draw. I think I need to lean into that more, because so many times I find myself just kind of not making because I'm hesitating too much. And I want to go back to like the high school, middle school ideal of just doodling on a sheet of paper. And if something comes out of it, cool. And if nothing comes out of it, cool. What I'm going to start with, though, I kind of want to start with sketching with a colored pencil. Sorry, I'll grab this. Ooh, look at my array of stuff. This is what you get when you just amass regularly, like, bits and bobs from all over. Oops. And also, your computer is, like, or I guess my desk. My desk is chaos right now. Just chaos. It's fine, but it's the way it is. So what I wanted to do was, where's my phone? Somewhere out there. Oh, it's on the other counter. I'll be right back. 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, Mana Bentra, hello, says cute fox right there. Thank you. And Julia, who gifted these beautiful handmade sketchbooks, is in the chat. Hey, Julia, what's up? Julia says, sorry, that was me. I was on the wrong account. Who are you hacking right now? What's going on? And Lauren Louise, hello, saying, yay, hello, Anna. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I see it. Funded by the Adobe Creative Residency, says, cute. And Julia, I know more about you now. Ha ha ha. Bryn says, just draw a smiley face on your palm, your mascot for the day. Ooh, could we do some like really cool, I don't know, like I'm talking when I do this or something like that? That'd be fun. I'm down for ideas. Let's do it. But for now, 1 sec. I'm gonna go grab my phone. Hold your horses. Have a party in the chat. La 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 la. I'm back. All right, I grabbed my phone. I have some reference that I can bring up now. Let's see. I just wanted to look through some of the photos on my phone so that I could find some glorious reference of something cute. So I'm going to scroll. I have a lot of pictures of my godson on here right now because his parents are just like sending everything, which is so cute, of course. A lot of pictures of him being front and center in his class, where he's like sitting on the teacher's lap listening to her read a story, because he just really likes to be in the action, which is very cute. Let's try this one. This is one that we actually, in one of our previous streams, animated a little bit. So we put a little dragon flying around the moon and then going back into the clouds. That was a lot of fun, and I want to get back to that. I always leave off animations because they're a whole heck of a ton of work. So it's rare to see it finished, but it's okay. We own who we are, okay? Hey, there's Wade in the chat and Annika. Oh my gosh, we've got royalty here. Okay. By the way, did you guys see Flynn Tracy was in the chat? Hey, Flynn of APAC Adobe Live fame. So we've got a lot of really cool people here today. I am feeling a double spread, whatever you call it. I should know that. I'm a children's book illustrator. I know what it's called. It's a spread when you do both of the spreads. Pages. Wow, brain worky. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of roughen my idea for a shape here. I'm going to, of course, stylize some of the clouds because I want more interesting composition than this picture honestly allows for, which, I mean, Mother Nature is the best artist. I'm not trying to diss her. But what I want is breakup of shapes that's more irregular and has some kind of like high point, because this is all kind of along the same axis. And then I'm going to mark out where some of the darker clouds are in the foreground here and kind of the direction that they're going. Now, my sketches are always really, really light on the video, so hold on for a mo and I'll show you close up what I'm doing. But really just paying attention to the overall shapes that I'm seeing and some of the direction that they're taking. And also the values as I'm going. I know I'm not sketching in value right now, but it's a good thing just to start noting kind of what your plan is for a piece, especially compositionally if you're trying to think of elements that are going to be lighter, darker, all that jazz. You want to kind of have an idea in mind for that. I'm going to put the moon up here. It's an oblong moon. And then we can have a few darker trees coming up and maybe some roofs because there are cute little rooftops in this picture. So that would be adorable, I gotta say. Sorry, I'm channeling my college art teacher. She would always put on a really bad British accent. Be like, you gotta feel it. Zah, if you're out there listening, it's for you. It's all for you. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna do little puffs. I'll do them over here, actually. I like that better. I'm gonna do just a little poofy action. These are gonna be more ephemeral, at least in my mind. Okay, so this is the super duper light sketch that I did with red pencil. It's actually watercolor pencil, so it's gonna mostly disappear. You can see like there's a moon up there. Shadows are so harsh, sorry. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be painting in. Oh, Taylor Ackerman's in the chat. What's up, Taylor? Oh my gosh, Taylor just got some new representation over at, I can't remember, but you should really tell us the name of your agency. And congratulations, Taylor. We are so proud of you. Round of applause for Taylor. Woo, 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 woo. Kendall says, I've been a bit scatterbrained this week as a result of, oh yeah, a lot of stuff going on in Colorado. I'm so sorry for wildfires. Seriously. Kendall, I wish you all the peace in the world. I am so sorry that you're going through that. I know it's been a rough few years of wildfires in Colorado. It's just not fair. Not fair at all. But what we're going to do is try to live in the world that we have and find our peace. That's what we're doing. Okay. Also, I'm going to choke on saliva because that's what I do. I'm going to bust out some primary blue. Oh, I forgot to get my, usually I have, what do you call them? Needle nose pliers to open these guys because these rims of these paints will bust your hands up. Just be warned. Also, thank you so much, Julia, for all these paints. Oh, this is the one that's completely hardened. As I say, thank you so much. But yeah, seriously, it was super generous for you to give me paints, even dry ones, because they are the paints that I love using. This is like a whole thing that I am so bad about buying art supplies for myself, and it will literally stop me from making art. But the second it's in my hands, I'm just like all about it. So thank you, Julia. Also, dried out or not, I'm getting color out of here, so check it out. I will probably eventually just bust open this tube and have chunks that I revivify with water. This is one of the beauties of gouache. If it's straight up gouache and not acrylic, then it is water soluble and can come back to life, just like a watercolor. Okay, let's look for white. Titanium white. Not like the Titanic, but like titanium. Titanium. I am titanium. Anybody else remember that Sia? Sia, wouldn't want to be ya. No, I would. Because I want to be titanium. Who doesn't want to be made of metal? Also, what is your superpower that you would like to have? I know we talk about this every once in a while, but I always like to hear it. Thought of any other cool superpowers lately? So I'm making blue for the sky, but honestly, I might put a wash over this before I pop in with actual colors. Oh, you guys can't even see me mixing it over here, and I knocked my phone down. This is just not ideal, this workspace. Someday I will make it ideal, but 'tis not this day. Let's see. Okay, so if we are mostly doing a cool piece, well, it has a lot of undertones of like cream and pink in the clouds themselves. I don't know if you can see very well, but it's beautiful. This picture is, I mean, it pales in comparison to the actual thing. You guys know how you take a picture of the sky and you're like, it's breathtaking, and then the picture's like, crunch it up. Kendall says, that reminds me, I need a new spray bottle. My mother repurposed the one I was using to drench my gouache with skunk smell remover. Have you had some run-ins with a skunky skunk? I'm so sorry. Okay, so I think what I want to do is wash this with a really light pink. That's the goal, at least. So what I'm going to do is bring out another brush. Wow. And I actually have some kind of pink left over here. This is just mostly white with a tiny, tiny dash of cadmium red, I believe. And it's all dried up in here, so it's going to take some working to get it. But it will get. It will get. It's not very red anymore, but I have some dried out red on the opposite side of the palette where you can't see, so I'm just going to drag some of that in. It's actually kind of like a orangey pink, and I like that. I'm into it. Peachy! Oh, such a good color. Alright, well, we might need to make more of it, but this is a wash, so it's meant to be very light and not super duper... Well, I mean, it can be, obviously, super duper colorful, but it doesn't have to be. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, I'm making more of it. So sue me. Alright, here's the pink. Ink a bink a bottle of ink, the cork fell out and you stink. Do you guys remember those rhymes as a kid? Not because you're dirty, not because you're clean, just because you kissed the boy behind the magazine. Wah! I have no idea what that's from or like why it exists, but it lives in my head, unfortunately. Beep, beep. Boom. Kendall says we've had a few reports of skunks being outside in the daylight, which would mean they're rabid. So we've been on alert. I'm so sorry. Oh no. By the way, Taylor says all of my spray bottles are currently serving as kitten defense. I love that. Oh my gosh. Do you have new kittens? Oh, that's so cute. I so badly want a cat. I've been feeling it this whole, like, I don't know, all my life, basically, since I haven't had a cat. But this week, I feel like, has been more intense. I think I saw somebody... Oh, I was watching... I think it was Megan Wang... Megan Wang on YouTube, who is an artist who does just videos, like vlogs and studio stuff. And she has 2 new kittens. And honestly, so does Ryan Selvey. And they look kind of similar to each other. Like, Megan has 2 kittens that are, I think, tuxedo, I want to say. I'm going to dry this. Look at me go. I'm driving. Also, Wade just started a stream. Go watch Wade's stream. Yay, Wade. Oh, we love it. Let's see. Annika says, thanks, Rin. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Wait. Annika, you are amazing. Annika actually has in the chat for Anna. For me catching up on what you guys are talking about. Annika says, we're talking about colored pencil. Okay, I love that. Thank you for catching me up on your conversation. Oh my gosh. Oh, Rin says, question from Annika. Anna, what colored pencils would you recommend for general sketching / plein air? I always love Prismacolors. I think they are probably the best of just using colored pencils. If you're using colored pencils with other mediums, I love Watercolor Pencils. Now, this brand, I don't know if it's superior, inferior, whatever. It's the only one I've ever tried. And it's called Royal Watercolor Pencil, I guess. I think that this came in a really cheap pack, though. So I'm guessing it's probably not the best quality, but it works for what I need it for. Which is usually an underdrawing. Now, again, that's when using other mediums. So it's up to whatever you want it for. But I would recommend, if you're jumping into the colored pencil game, Prismacolors. And I've heard Prismacolor Premiere are used a lot for a lot of Prismacolor artists. That's what I've seen. But I don't know that I have any Premieres. Let's see. Does this one say? Prismacolor, just regular. Very thin. Very thin? Yeah? Is that what? Rin says Prismacolors are excellent for blending. Rin knows. Rin knows. Boom. Julia says, I like Fabriano watercolor pencils. Ooh, Julia knows what she's talking about also. Taylor says, I like I'm going to mispronounce everything. Faber-Castell, and it's better than Prismacolor. They break less. Ooh, pro. Influencing. Yes. Rin says, I use Premiere. Excellent. What is it like compared to just regular old Prismacolors? Also, James Fenner in the chat. James! Everybody go follow James. James is an amazing artist. Yeah, just everything James makes. Go check out, especially if we could get a link to James's Instagram to see the ever-growing illustration that he animates all together. It's amazing. James, I'm always flabbergasted by your work, but I just love that one so much. Kendall says, they're so fun, but they are watercolored, so an impatient painter is not good when you want pencils to not bleed. Oh my gosh, yes. You have to know your material, and your material includes yourself. If you are of a certain mind, you'll only be fighting your materials. Still drying. We should just work on another piece while this is drying, but it's almost there. Okay. I think I'm going to go in with the sky color first. Don't know why, just feeling it. I'm feeling this. Do you guys remember that song from, whatchamacallit? I know this band, Blink-182. All right. One of the things that I'm less fearful for, because gouache is so lovely, is if I ever feel like, oh, I want to leave like the light parts or whatever to not be dark, whatever you want to call it, like I want to be careful to not paint certain areas. I'm not as worried with gouache because I feel like I can paint over it if need be. And even if I horribly mess it up or something like that, either I can paint it again or I can go in digitally and fix it. So it's like there's multiple backups, and I love that. I also think since these are clouds, we should probably play with the idea of making some of them blendy and some of them hard. You know what I mean? Like some of them have that shift to, oh golly, words defy me. The shift from hard edge to soft edge. You know what I mean. You guys get it. You're smart. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to the edge of my brush and just kind of fade out some of these edges a little bit. I want to see what happens. Even using a finger. Oh yes, the finger works. Got to work while it's still wet though. May have missed my opportunity with some of these. But again, I can just make these cloud bits smaller if I want the bits that I've experimented with to go away. And or I can paint over with a lighter color, a white. Or even, we found that white ink works pretty well to cover opaquely, better than white gouache on top of the other gouache. The failure gouache that you're trying to cover. Okay. Well, there's some stuff. Oh, Kendall says Woodless Koh-i-Noor, I'm guessing is how you say it. Progresso, I guess, is the full name. Wow, that is quite a name. Oh, man. Oh, Annika says, thank you for all the tips. You guys are amazing. This is exactly why we have community, you know? You don't have to try to find your own materials and, like, go through the process of trial and error. Wow. Could somebody else talk for me today? I feel like you guys would do a better job. But anyways, the idea of going out and spending a bunch of money and not liking what you bring home is sad to me. We all have spent too much at an art store on materials, but you want to at least like feel like, oh hey, I came away with something that is worth buying. So it's great to have a community that you can ask those kind of questions to. Because I know in the past, I don't know of any where like I can name the product that I hated, but I've definitely come away with something that I wasn't thrilled about when I got home. I guess, let me think. I gotta think of like if there is some named thing. Avoid this. I don't know. Certain papers now, I guess I'm very finicky about, which is why, thank you, Julia, for turning me on to Mohawk paper, because this is what we're using in the sketchbook, and it is good. I enjoy it very much. I also love like a thick watercolor paper, of course, but this one is first of all in book form, so it feels very like handy dandy. I can take it anywhere. I can do anything. I can do anything. But the other side of it is just like, it handles it well, you know? The paper, it bends a bit, but it's not like, this is pretty thin paper for taking this much gouache and water and all that stuff. So it's a good one, I would say, personally. Acting like I'm in any kind of... See, I guess the authority comes from just using the product. So I should say that I'm an authority once I've used it, but it always feels like, I don't know, this imposter syndrome of like, there's gotta be someone who knows what they're talking about with this stuff, and it's not me. It's not me. But that's fine. Okay, I'm zhuzhing some of the paint around again, because you can really zhuzh a lot with gouache, especially with mark making and stuff like that. I'm trying to let go of too much control. Chaos, control! But it just happens sometimes. Sometimes you just canoodle too much with the... Oh wait, we learned that canoodle was amorous making out. That's not the word I wanted. I amorously make out with my sketchbook. No. I futz with it too much. That was the correct word, futz. Which is like handling something too much and for no real purpose. Okay, so we've got this. Down here, I'm going to be using, let's go back to our reference. Woo. No, not delete photo. Okay, so if you can see, we're going to try to capture some of that color in the foreground cloudishness. I kind of want to touch the light bits last to give them a little bit of depth here, but I can do this. I can do that, right? Do you guys believe in me? Yeah, I believe in me. So what I'm going to do is probably, I see some purples in here, especially like right there, and some blues going to, I'm guessing this would be lighter than I would assume. That's what I'm thinking. So what I'm going to do is bring a chunk of the white over here to where we had that pink before for the wash. And it's got a little bit of the blue in it, which is good, 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 good. I'm going to do a touch, and just a tiny touch of red because it's so powerful. And then I want to bring some more of this blue in here, which is unfortunate. Maybe we use cerulean, maybe? Let's see what cerulean looks like. Because honestly, the change in blue might be good for the change in the cloud. It's a little bit darker just by nature, but also I feel like it's more on the purple side than the green side of things. So let's try that with the white. Yeah, I think that works. For some of the clouds. Not all of it, but some of it. So we're just going to go in here and start dabbing in these foreground shapes. And again, we don't have to hit the photo perfectly. What I want to do is just kind of lean on what we're looking at to see, do I like what's in front of me? That's kind of the idea here. Beep, beep, beep. I'm always running out of paint. Gotta get used to putting more on my paintbrush. Boom. This was also a thing back in plein air painting classes, which, hey, speaking of Za. Hey, James, if you're still in the chat, you know Za. And so, anyway, Za would always, like, push for basically more, because I feel like students always err on the side of, don't use all my materials. They were hella expensive, and I don't want to use them all up on one painting. But you kind of have to at a certain point. It's necessary to... put a lot on your brush and on your palette so that you don't keep running out and having to remix things. That is just the most annoying. And even, especially with gouache, I should be way over this notion by now, but especially with gouache because it can always be revivified. There is no waste. I remember feeling that so much with acrylics, though. If it dried on my palette and there was like a chunk of it, I just died inside. Hey, James says, I wish I could retake Zaw classes now. I feel like so much of it flew over my head at the time. That's the point. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It all flies over your head, and it's unfortunate, but it's also like, that's life, man. You were at a certain point in your learning, and you're not going to get it all. But I do also very much wish I had like a pocket Zaw still. And I think in certain ways I do. She made such an impression on me that like I think about her teachings all the time. But it's definitely like, oh man, I wish I could have that class right now. I wish I could be learning the way I used to. But then also, yeah, I feel like I wasn't ready for all of the information that I was given, which is... You know, it's frustrating, but it's also the very much, like, truth of life. Is that you won't always be ready for what you're experiencing. And that's fine. Beep. Also, what we got from her has gotten us to this point, yeah? So, we should be very happy with our lot. At least I am. I think that it all paid off in one way or another. Okay, so we've got some layers going on. I definitely want to get more like purpley back here, so I think I'll touch red. It's like touching grass, but touch red. And then go under here with a little bit of that. Ooh, yeah. Very light purple. Ooh, and we're getting some blending. Oh, look at that blending, friends. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. James says, I wish I... Oh, yeah. Same. The way she taught form was seriously so good. I think about her advice nearly daily. Agreed. 100%. We were so lucky to have her as a teacher. So lucky. I know. I was just talking about this with James, husband James, who I was saying, like, man... Just everything in the world right now. Can you imagine being a student, or can you imagine being in a different like previous point in our lives? Because the jobs that we used to work and things like that, I cannot imagine going through what is happening right now and has been happening with the jobs that we had, because seriously, soul sucking is an understatement in certain ways. And it's definitely... Like, I don't know, I feel like the world has worked in our favor in so many ways, and I'm so grateful for it. Ooh, I'm getting some good blending here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but since this light blue is still wet, I can kind of dip into it with this purplishness on my brush and kind of get some blending going between the colors. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyways, I put my heart out there for everybody who is... working a job that they're not fulfilled by, and isn't paying them enough. Seriously, it's a travesty right now. Some people are just getting paid nothing. And also students. I feel so badly for students. Oh my gosh. The idea of like, I think it was Justin Oaksford I saw was tweeting about how you can get some really great reference images from Getty Images. They have a lot of like editorial photography of sports players, athletes, and they're really beautiful. So go use that. But also that he was realizing that like, oh, students who would go to like life drawing classes might not have gotten to go for like the last 2 years. Can you imagine in college? What I don't know who else has had this experience, but when you're going to art school, life drawing is a huge part of that, and not having access to it feels like you're not getting, you know, the education that you're trying to pay for, which just, it makes me so sad to think about that. Of course, there are resources for life drawing. I've seen some, what do you call it? Like things, some things. I've seen people talk about the things where you can go to an online art or life drawing session where like somebody's modeling live. I don't think it's the same though. Being in the room is like half of what you're learning from. It's so important to be able to not only get like taught something. I really love it with instruction alongside of the life drawing, but also just being in the room with a person. It gives you a very different view than like a 2D viewing of it, because once it's put on a screen, that's taking away a whole dimension of your intake of that subject, which is kind of the whole point, right? Is you're trying to teach your brain to interpret a 3D thing, something that's in life, and make it into a 2D thing. And suddenly the screen is between you doing some of the work or some of the mistakes, possibly. I don't know. However you look at it. Anyways, there's my ramble. I'm so sorry, students. And if in any way I could help anybody who's trying to learn stuff about art, please shout out your questions. I don't have every answer in the book, but I can definitely try. James says, yes, I didn't take advantage of life drawing as much as I should have when we were in college. I so agree. Oh, it's sad to think like, oh yeah, it was just there. However, every single time I went, I remember feeling either like great or frustrated. There was no in between. It's like, oh yeah, this drawing night went great, or oh, it was torture sometimes. But usually after a long time of not doing it, honestly, that was the pattern. Just like, oh yeah, I should do this more often. But of course, with everything, it's really hard to work everything you should into your life. So also give yourself a break. I'm gonna give a nice blob there. I'm trying to kind of compositionally balance some of these things by dragging certain colors up and certain colors down, and I really should be zooming out more to kind of take it all in at once. But I'm liking how it's coming along. I think it'll really start popping when we got the darker bits down below. So let's bring up our reference again. So then we have these darker, what do you call them? You know, rooftops, and dark trees. But also we've got some like reddish tree branches coming up, which I love the possibility of color within darkness. There's something about having a shadow area that has a ton of color in it, and then a light area that's almost completely blown out. I just love that look so much. And the sky behind here, I'm just gonna have it drift down, I think, into more of a dark purpley. Let's get some of that anyhow. And it's not going to be actually dark. It's going to have a ton of white in it, but just in contrast to what we've got going on, it'll feel dark. That's another thing about color, of course. It's all relative to what's around it. So if you are thinking, oh, I need a dark purple, it's not actually dark purple. This is like a very light purpley gray in reality, but it's just darker than what we had before. And I think I'm going to just take this all the way down, just so we don't have to worry about fill in any gaps. Beep, 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 beep. Although I do love gaps, especially as I'm doing this. But as we did a... Oh, whoops, I'm getting it on here. As we did a... What do you call it? A wash. When gaps happen with a wash, it just makes that color come out in between, which is it makes me so happy when I see that. Rearranging my workspace. Okay, there we go. Oh man. James says, yeah, I really miss college art nights. Just hanging out and drawing together was so valuable. Man, the basement of the Arthur, and then suddenly it's a karaoke night as well, and Phil jumps up there and sings took the midnight train going anywhere. Oh man, those are some good memories. Oh, I love that time. But yeah, there were a lot of things that we could have learned from each other, and I swear that, like, yeah, we did a lot. We did take advantage very much of having each other around, but I feel like it could always be more. It could always be more, James. But you know, we can recreate that. We could just have drawing nights. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stick with this kind of purpley darkness down here for the implications of, what do you call them? Rooftops. Wow, I keep on forgetting the name of the rooftops. Just to stay in our color family, because as much as I like the idea of having a ton of colors, I want to start with one that I feel a little bit more confident about working with our palette, just so I don't go crazy immediately, because I feel like that's kind of a weakness of mine. I love color, but in a way that it kind of gives us a stable base, and then we can add from there. Especially, I love adding colored pencil on top of my painted pieces. So with that opportunity, we can just kind of rest a little bit when thinking about the rest of our piece. Does that make any sense? I don't know if it's making sense, but it's fine. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of black, which is rare, but I want it to be significantly darker. So I'm going to add the blue to the black, and it's like a gray. Here we can have like a little test page. So yeah, it's darker than the rest, but it's still pretty dang light. So we're not like completely dragging it down. This is a weakness that I see, or at least I perceive it as a weakness. Everybody has their own style and what they think looks great. But I see it in a lot of like, what do you call it? There's a style of art that I feel like is very Instagram friendly or whatever, where people, they paint like a gradient of some kind, and then they cover parts of the page and they splatter it with like white, and it's the stars of the sky. And then they do these black silhouettes of trees in front of it, which, cool. However, I really enjoy trees that aren't black. I want to see a little bit of color within there. And so that's, again, it's just my preference. But I always try to stray away from just solid black and give myself a little bit of color. But we are going to do kind of that same thing that they do, which is a silhouette of a tree, basically. You guys see that? We're silhouetting a tree. It's happening. And also, this does not have to be a perfect tree. I kind of want it to be wacky and weird, because that's the way the trees are here. I see so many trees that are like, they remind me of Dr. Seuss, because they'll have like a tilted top or something where it's like, wonk. And it just makes me happy. Silly trees. It's like a bird landed on top and was like, oh, I'm too heavy for the tree. And then other ones are just like, I'm a Christmas tree. So, to each their own. Little trees. Be yourself. Embrace it. I'm gonna do like one over here, because I think in the picture there's just one little area of trees, but I like balance. I'm gonna visually balance it a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the different colors of trees, probably with colored pencil, because the other ones are kind of branch based. Sorry. Does that make any sense? These guys I think of as like kind of bushy shapes, but the other ones are just straight up branches that don't have a ton of leaves on them. And when that happens, I want to have that crisp line effect. Also, I should mention, one of my favorite stylizations of trees is when... How do I show this normally? Okay, so there's a bunch of branches that are coming out from a central point, but they all fit a shape. So pretend that this red little line I put on there doesn't exist. And there's branches that all just jut out to meet that exact line. Does that make sense? Like it's all meeting a certain edge, but that edge is invisible usually. That's why it's kind of hard to tell you what I mean, because like I want to show you, but then also the whole point is not showing you. How I would do it digitally, obviously, is just like draw a bunch of branches going every which way, and then I would erase out the shape that I want. But you can see this a lot in, oh golly, what's his name? There's a background artist that worked on Sleeping Beauty. I went to like a whole show of his work in the Presidio. What is his name? Ike? Oh my gosh, you guys know. You guys probably already did it. You know what I mean. Annika says I just ordered my Prismacolor. Oh my gosh, exciting. I love it. Annika says I love this stream. Oh, you're so nice. Oh man. Kendall says I do try to always draw when out and about, but it's way easier when someone is staying still and you can actually study. I so agree. Oh my gosh, trying to do life drawing like on a bus or something. First of all, I've been the subject where somebody's drawing me and it's not very comfortable. Like, I get where they're even coming from because, like, I've done that to strangers as well. But, like, I don't like people knowing that I'm drawing them. Unless they're, like, a fan or, you know, like, they like being drawn. But just the idea of, like, somebody being like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with this. Then I'd be like, I'm uncomfortable with this. Oh, no, this is the worst idea ever. But I need to draw to practice. Anyways, thoughts on drawing outside. How do you guys feel? Have you drawn people in public? Have you been drawn in public? Have you noticed? Have you not? I don't know. And Julia says, Anna, those videos drive me insane. I'm glad I'm not alone in like knowing what I'm talking about because it drives me insane too. But like not in a way where I want to discourage the artist. I want to encourage them to just have like a little bit of color in their blacks. Is that okay? Is that all right? James says I have 100% been guilty of that in the past, lol. It's, you know, it's all up to style. I'm sure I would see pieces. And James, I know that you're very cognizant of like intentional style. I don't think that you would ever fall into the category where I'd be like, oh, that tree's too black or whatever, because it works with what else you're doing. It's just the idea of like, I don't know, like falling back on, okay, so I do this layer, then I do this layer, and then the black tree's in the foreground. And that's the formula. I guess it just feels formulaic. Oh, James is like, I know who you're talking about. I'm trying so hard to remember. Yes, Ivan Earl. Oh, James came through. Ivan Earl. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ivan Earl is this technique times 10. Like such great trees. You should go check out Ivan Earl. Also, oh, there's another artist I'm thinking of. Is it Ula? I'm not going to go down this path. There's other artists who do really great stuff like that too. And I just love that style. Kendall says, I do love drawing animals. Zoo and museum drawing sessions are my favorite for covert doodling people and less awkward. See, covert is the key word here. Also drawing animals, top notch, because the animals are most likely cool with it. And they probably stay still longer even because animals do that sometimes. They're just chilling. Julia says, I was drawing a lady in the New York subway and she figured it out and gave me the sassy black lady snap finger wave and said, no, not even. I died. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry, Julia. That's so funny of a response. Just like, get out of here. Stop it with that. It's so funny because especially, okay, if you've been drawn in public, first of all, do you confront the person? Which is silly to say, like, it's not confrontational. It's just, do you say, hey, I know you're drawing me? Like, how do you bring that up? And then second of all, do you change how your demeanor is when you know you're being watched or seen or documented in some way? Do you sit up straighter? Do you try to, like, I don't know, angle your face in a way that's like, draw me pretty? I don't know. I think definitely yes for me, honestly. But I don't think I'm confrontational enough to be like, hey, I know you're drawing me. The one time that I was drawn, actually, it happened with a, what do you call him? Co-student. Somebody I was going to art school with. And it was seriously like our first meeting. And then I knew him for another 4 years as we were going through art school together. And it was such an awkward first meeting because it was him coming up to me and saying, hey, here, I drew you, and showing me. And like, there's a lot that goes into, I don't know, thought processes with art and emotions and stuff like that. And I'm not always ready to just like see art and for people to be like looking for a reaction. I know that this is like a gripe of a lot of people, is that you can't just show an art piece to someone for a reaction. You don't want to like trap them into emoting for you. It feels weird. So, yeah, it was just one of those moments where I was not ready for it. And so I felt a little trapped. And also, there was me staring back at me. I don't even remember what the drawing looked like. So, yeah, it was a little weird. But if I had noticed that this person was drawing me and, like, went up and said something, I don't even know what I would say. Hey, I'm an artist too. Isn't this awkward? Yeah, it's real awkward, isn't it? Feel the awkward. Let it seep into your soul. I was born of this. Man, it's hard. It's hard being an artist, and it's hard being drawn. I feel for everyone in that situation. So just draw animals. That's what I'm learning today. Or go to figure drawing, obviously, because that's like... some of the nicest people are models in figure drawing, I swear. They, like, I've had people come up and tell me, like, their whole life story, and some people are like, oh, I really like this drawing, can I buy it from you? Or they'll be like, you didn't focus on the right part. That was awkward one time. There was a male model who came through and basically told everyone in the class, like, hey, you're not focusing on the right part. Because you know what art students are very skittish about with a nude model is drawing anything that you wouldn't usually see. I mean, usually breasts are pretty easy, but like crotch areas, my goodness. It's so awkward with students sometimes. I mean, obviously you get over it at a certain point, and there shouldn't be awkwardness when there's figure drawing, honestly. But when a model comes up and says something like that to you, then it becomes awkward. Anybody else had experiences like this with figure drawing? I wonder. Because usually they're super professional and absolutely lovely. So it was an abnormal kind of interaction. Also, a lot of them are artists themselves. So they're just like, yeah, I get paid. And I love art. And I want to help artists grow and learn, which is the coolest. It's like, I'm so shy. Oh my goodness. Oh, everybody notice how James misspelled Ivan Earl. Ooh, James. It's not that it's completely, what do you call it? Like a non-traditional name spelling. It's Eyvindearle. I'm proud of myself for reading that correctly. I'm very, like, it feels like I'm more dyslexic lately. Julia says, so great to be with you all. Gotta run. Going to, what is this? Gaupé exhibit? I want to know more. And also your review. I would love to know. Have so much fun, Julia. Thank you for hanging with us. See you later. Taylor says to Julia, Julia's always running off to the most interesting places. It's so true. Julia's got a life, man. What's it like to have a life? Elisada just finished dinner. Welcome back. What'd you have for dinner? Something delish. Okay, so let's see here. I want to get some of these. The townhouses outside have like a kind of, what do you call that? Like an English style of outer architecture showing. I'm sure there are technical terms for all of this, but I'm blanking. So that stuff. I want to kind of imply that here on the roofs. Now there aren't places like this here, but I'm gonna just pretend that we have some of these. Like that. That's what I'm going for. Beep, bop. Ooh, I can't wait to use colored pencil on here, because I know that I want a little bit more pinky reds coming through in the base, and I can do that. I have the power! Very exciting. Beep, bop, boop. All right, we're going to pretend that those exist, and there we go. I think that the separation here needs to happen a little bit more. You see how this roof on the end is blending with the trees completely? We could separate with pencil, but we could also do it with paint. And I'm wondering whether we should go darker or lighter to separate, because if values are blending, it just means they're too similar. So one needs to either be lighter than the other or vice versa, darker than the other. So, I think I'll lighten the roof just a tad bit. That's what I'm thinking. Stinking thinking. Who knows? Maybe I just do a line of it. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, this is technically correct. This whole value is this way. Sometimes you can just separate the areas that you want separated, and it's not a crime against humanity, okay? It's fine. Okay. One thing I do want to go over before we get to pencils is the blue of the sky. I think I'm going to do another pass at. One reason being I just don't like how much mark making there is within it. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but yeah, there's some like zhuzhies that I want to re-zhuzh. And then also this edge, I want some more of the bloopy smoothness that we got in these little guys. So that's what I'm going to do. Once again, it's all coming out. And I'm going to look back at our reference once more. I think we could add a little bit more of this dark cloud in front, where it's like dark against the lightness. Yeah. And then we could add like a little bit of a line on the bottom of these guys. So just a little bit darker than what we've got here. I'm going to bring out my test paper again, just so we have something to mark it up first so that we know we get the right color, because this is going to be kind of finicky to get. Just a tad bit. Running out of blue again. Wow. I'm kind of proud of myself whenever I run out of a color. Like, wow, I have been painting, haven't I? Yeah. Sweet. Okay, here's the test. Honestly, I think that's pretty close. These colors also dry darker. So even if it looks like, wow, that's very close in value, it's going to dry slightly darker. But if we need to go over it again, that's okay. So I'm just going to put some lines against the bottom here. Zoop, zoop. I saw a cloud the other day that had such a flat bottom. It was just like cut with a knife. It was so cool looking. I just love when I see that. Okay, and then right here, here's abouts. I'm going to put a few little dark clouds in the foreground, basically. At least that's how I hope they read. Boop. Maybe a little bit darker here. I'm gonna add some more blue. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Yeah, I like them. Cool. Man, I love painting. Thank you guys so much for being my break from digital stuff today. I've been dying for this. Dying! There's my cerulean. When I talk like this, it's because there's a paintbrush in my mouth. I hope it sounds really cool. Alessandra says I had chicken and brown rice and black-eyed peas. Ooh, that sounds really good. I haven't had black-eyed peas in a million years. I need to get more of those. We've been on a garbanzo kick. That's been the bean of choice. Although we always have black beans on hand too. It's true. I actually got some Great Northern beans, I think they were called, the other week because I made minestrone. And that was like the closest bean that I wanted to what I was, I don't know. Like I have goals sometimes of dishes and I'm like, oh, I want this to be somewhat traditional minestrone. So I'll do stuff like that. And then other days I'm like, I'm inspired by minestrone, but it's not going to be exactly minestrone. And so I kind of throw things in a pot. But that's really the beauty of soup, don't you think? It can be anything. And nothing at all. Beep, beep. Okay, I added a little bit more darkness. We are darkness. And this is just coming from a little bit more cerulean blue and a touch more of the red. I kind of want, here, I'm going to just use a plain brush. Wait, I think this still has some white in it, or the pink. Oh yeah, it was the pink that we used for the wash. I'm just going to blend a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff. Look at, on the left page is like the before line. On the right is after. Do you see that blending down? Oh, I love it. Oh, that is so cool. Do you see Do you see? Ah! I love it. Okay. Enough insanity. Blue. I'm blue. I'm buddy. I'm buddy. I'm buddy. I'm buddy. I'm buddy. I'm buddy. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right, washing this brush out and bluing it up. It's going to be the primary blue, which I have to say is quite glorious. I do love this color, so I might consider getting myself a tube of it fresh. Let's see. Hey, Ibrahim's in the chat. Ibrahim, whoop, whoop, whoop. How are you doing? James says, we've been having such dramatic skies lately. I've been taking tons of photos out the studio window. That's exactly what this photo is from, is just like the sky lately. It's so good. I love it and can't get over it. It's wonderful. I am glad you're taking pictures. Do you ever paint from pictures, James? Is that a thing you like to do? Beep, beep, beep. I need to do more like landscapey stuff, I feel like. I have been watching a lot of Lee Ellickson on YouTube, and she inspires me so much to paint more freely and big. Like, she does these gigantic paintings, or at least, I don't know. Sometimes I watch a video from like a year ago and it's mixed in with videos from a week ago, so I don't know when people are doing stuff, but just the idea of doing like this, but like, I don't know, 3 feet tall. Can you imagine the freedom? Because this, like, these marks are so small in life. Like, see my hand? Imagine making a mark with your like whole arm. Like, you're just like, oh, how fun. I always work small, so it would be a little intimidating. By the way, my favorite area right now is this little cloud. Zoop, zoop. Oh, that just makes my heart happy. Okay, so here's some blue. And this time I'm going to go in a bit more intentionally and try to make these shapes what I want. It's going to be a little difficult just because the shapes that I like down here are made by my brush going out within the color. Does that make sense? And then this one I'm going into a negative spot to try to create the same shapes, or similar, I should say. So it's a little bit different, but it's a fun challenge, you know? Just gotta meet it head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Beep, beep, beep. And I really love when there's super crisp edges to clouds. Like James has been saying, the epic skies that we've been having lately, the clouds look like sculpted. They're so crisp. So I want that kind of feeling along the top edge here, especially. Some of it can blend for sure, and maybe we'll play with that, but it's so satisfying to see it be super crisp. In life, at least. So that's what I'm kind of aiming for with the art. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All the way to the edge, baby. All the way. Oh, yeah. Yeah! Look at that. Also, I have to shout out, Victoria Ying has been doing a series on Instagram where she paints a different day of the sky in her sketchbook. So every day it would just be a new spread of the sketchbook, and she'd paint what the sky looked like. And it was sometimes like it's just blue, basically, which is totally cool because that's what the sky looks like a lot in her neck of the woods. But sometimes there would just be a really intense cloud piece, and I really appreciate how free it looks when she does that. It's pretty amazing. If I could like stay still and do one thing at a time, I could make such good videos, you guys. As in like a time lapse. I'm just thinking of like, oh yeah, the version of this piece being made, I have technically on video thanks to the stream. However, I'm moving all over the place. I'm you know, zhuzhing it towards the camera. I'm bringing it back down. I'm working on it. Like, there's just so much that's going on, and it would not look good in time lapse. So it's just the thought of like, man, someday maybe I'll sit down and just do a piece. That's just not how my brain works, though. Usually I'm like, I want to work on several things at once. I want to be able to bounce around and not be stuck to one piece. And get more of this primary blue. Try to coax it out. Let's see. Annika says... Wait, James says, I would love to see you do a big painting. That would be so cool. I have a gigantic piece of watercolor paper that I got for my birthday, so maybe someday. Annika says, they look like in a painting. Alessandra says, I love how this is coming out, Anna. Oh, I'm so glad. Rin says, ooh, yes, I love when the clouds have that feeling. So true. Yeah, clouds are magic. Oof. So good. Annika says, you can slow-mo the things you showed. That's true. It takes editing. Oh, it's so hard. So hard to edit. Whoa. Annika says, like the color pencils, and then fast forward the time lapse a bit. Ooh, so fancy. Oh, Annika says, like, show the blue now, Anna. This is the primary blue? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Oh, and it's monkey paws time. Thank you, Kendall. All right, here's the paint coming out. Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. Also, I need to get a more aesthetic palette. This guy is not very pretty, but it does the job. It's a surface. That's all we need. Okay, I'm going to finish up the sky, and then we can do monkey paws, which is a hand stretch that we like to do so that we can take care of ourselves. I hope everyone is drinking water and closing your eyes if you're getting a little screen fatigued, and doing some nice positive self-talk today, because you are doing amazing. I have to be very, like, what do you call it? Purposeful about rewarding myself for getting through this deadline. If you weren't here earlier in the stream, I just finished a huge deadline for my book that I've been working on for the past, like, forever. I don't know, 8 months now? I can't remember. But anyways, when you get through a big deadline, you gotta reward yourself to make it feel like you did something, because I feel like I've done nothing. It's so silly how your brain can trick you into feeling like, well, you're still lazy. Or like, well, you know, it's, you know, you did some work, but like it was over a long period of time, so it's not super impactful. And it's just like, shut up, brain. You did a huge thing, and it's really good that you did it. It's what you want to be doing. And it's just one of those things that I feel like I need to reward myself for. And James and I have been watching the most random of things on YouTube lately. You guys want to know what it is? It's marble racing. Have you ever seen marble racing? Like real, legit, they've set up a course and all the marbles go. Yeah, it's real complex. The marbles go. But yeah, anyways, it's been fun. And we just basically pick a marble that we want to win each time, and then usually there are like brackets that it goes through and everything. They treat it legitimately, at least the channel that we're watching. They treat it like car racing. They even did like a car tournament called Glass Car, and they have the little vroom sounds when they're going around corners and stuff. It's hilarious. And there's a shoutcaster being like, oh, there was some contact on the thing. Oh, the skill set of these trainers, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, words that I can't come up with very quickly, but they say them like it's legit. And it makes me so happy. It's just such a funny thing to have somebody like treat it so seriously. And then James gets really invested. I also get invested, but I think he gets really invested sometimes. But anyways, so what we're going to do to reward the big deadline getting passed is we're going to go to a game store and hopefully get a marble. Just one marble. We just want one marble. No, I don't know where all marbles are. Honestly, I went to a marble shop in Astoria years and years and years ago, and I loved it. It was legitimately just a shop full of marbles, all sizes, all shapes, all kinds of like transparency. Some were vintage, some were new, all this stuff. And this guy who ran it was so enthusiastic, and I don't want to bring it down because it is sad, but he passed away, unfortunately. And so this marble place is not in existence anymore. And I don't know that I've ever seen another shop that's just dedicated to marbles. So I hope that the game stores that we find have marbles. I know that some toy shops I've seen have marbles and like the what do you call them? The routes for them to travel, the things for them to go down, clack, clack, clack. But I don't want to like set up a race or anything like that. What I like is the marbles themselves. They're so pretty. They're just hunks of glass. They're so good. Ugh, I love a good marble. Anyways, I'm obsessed with marbles. Or, I mean, not just marbles. Glass. I am obsessed with glass. Oh, Ibrahim says, anyway, I gotta go. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And everybody check out Ibrahim's work. It is amazing. They have been also animating some stuff, and it looks amazing. And you should go check it out. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Annika says, congratulations, Anna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, time for monkey paws. Yes, friends, let's do it. So if you are new to monkey paws, sorry, you're going to get this view today. If you're new to monkey paws, this is a hand stretch that you can join in on. I'm just going to describe to you what we do, and then you can follow along. So to start, we put our arms straight out in front of ourselves with our fingers to the sky, palms away from us, like this. And then we curl our fingers into what we call a monkey paw. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job. And then the second pose is we put our fingers down to the ground, palms towards ourselves, and then we curl our fingers in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job, good job. And then our third pose is we put our hands, or palms away from us, fingers down, and then we curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job. And the fourth pose is we put our fingers to the sky, palms towards ourselves, and then curl them in. Ooh, ah, ah. Good job. We repeat these poses holding for about a second each, around 10 times, so that we can get a nice stretch in our wrists. And this is your reminder to just take care of yourselves, because our hands do so much for us, and we want to take really good care of them so that we don't have carpal tunnel or arthritis, or we can at least help those kind of things in the future. There are a ton of different stretches that you can do, so make sure to find the ones that really feel right for you. And if you have any pain whatsoever, stop immediately, ice your arms, and rest them. And if you are feeling pain regularly, I would highly recommend finding a physical therapist that you can really dive into this stuff with, because it is worth it to take care of your hand health, as well as just your health. Remember to drink water, close your eyes if you need a break from the screens. Do whatever feels right. Maybe take a walk. It's turning into kind of a nice day outside, so I might take a walk after this. Who knows? Hot dang. Alessandra says, lol, oops, I already did it. How dare you? You did great, Alessandra. Thank you for doing them. All right. And once we're done, we just gently shake out our hands to loosen them back up. I'm going to roll my shoulders as well and do some neck stretches. One is where you put your ear as high as you can on one side, and then flop over to the other side. And back again. And back again. And then I look as far as is comfortable to each side. Trying to show you a little bit. And then turn back to the other side. Just to give our nice necks a nice sense of torsion and stretching. Woo! And Kendall's got the right idea. BRB, I need a snack too. Take a break if needed, friends. Exactly. Take a break. Take a break. Let's go away for the summer. Let's go upstate. I'm going to drink some of my water, not my painting water. Ooh, look at the sky through that. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I love it. By the way, if you thought there was a bubble in my water, it's actually in the glass underneath, which is why I love these glasses. They just have one little bubble in the center. I love also, since we're on the subject matter of glass, I love natural, it's not natural glass. What do you call it? It's a little less machine perfect glass. It's like hand blown stuff where it's got tons of bubbles in it. It just, woo. I need more of that in my life. I want glass goods. I should show you guys my float collection someday. Oh yeah. Check out this glass. Isn't that cool? It's frosted. And it feels so nice. I love it. Good glass, good glass. I use that to spray my plants. Annika says, hand blown is so good. Saw a show about that and it's so hard. Yes, make a YouTube. Oh man. It's true. I might do like a here's my float tour. I don't have that many, but still. They all have stories. Alessandra says, I'm not feeling well today, friends. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let's see. Trying to experience that anywhere. Oh, buddy. I'm so sorry, Alessandra. Things will work out. I know this. It will. What are you trying to get experience in? Is this for therapy? Or is it for art stuff? I know you're in that world. Oh, Rin says that rough glass aesthetic. Oh yeah. All glass aesthetics. Top notch in my opinion. We should paint some glass someday. Not on glass. Well, maybe on glass. But I'm just saying, like, paint a picture of something glassular. Okay, so I'm much happier with this line of clouds along the top. I think this is a pretty cool piece. I think that the things that would like pump it up are, I don't know. Okay, here's a way to say it. This is cool. I could probably do this painting 5 more times and get it to look even more cool. That's my thought. But what I like to do is just work with what we have. And so what I'm going to do is jump into some pencils because I believe except for the sky, we're pretty much dry. Except for the sky, we're pretty much dry. Gonna use one of these watercolor pencils. You can even test it over some of this stuff and see. Oh yeah. You can see like a little bit of that pink overneath it. Overneath it. You know. I'm gonna just, let's see, do I want any certain marks? Maybe I'll do vertical, so it almost feels like maybe it could be rain. You guys have seen like clouds from afar when it looks like they're just falling because it's raining so much. It's so cool. And I guess it is. It's technically a cloud falling, like a shooting star. I love it. Man, now I want to play Breath of the Wild because thinking about a shooting star in that game just makes me want to stay up all night looking at the sky. Also, Anthony sent me a link to, I believe it was an article talking about a video game called It Takes Two that's been pretty popular, if you guys know what I'm talking about, and they're going to make a movie adaptation of it apparently. And all I said back to him was like, oh, another video game movie. That means that we're one step closer to Legend of Zelda being a movie. Although, in a lot of ways, like, I don't need movies of video games. I do love the idea of exploring something that hasn't been explored yet. And I think Legend of Zelda is one of those that's ripe for exploration in so many ways. And It Takes Two would be a really cool movie, I'm sure. I have not played it, but I've seen it played a few times. And it looks very fun. I think that Anthony used to play it with Corinne, and then they stopped. So Anthony was like, I guess this is how I'll see how it ends. So sad. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, wait, we have a word of the day? What's the word of the day? Did I say something? Beep, beep, beep. Okay, let's see. Wait, Kendall has leftover bundt cake. Is there enough to share with the class, Kendall? Come on. Do you guys see those subtle little lines? Added a little bit more pink. Overneath. Overneath is the word of the day, y'all. Get with it or get going. I talk good. So overneath, we're going to be doing some red lines as well. I don't need to do them everywhere, but I think just doing like little areas of emphasis is fun. And this is where a lot of creative liberties can be taken. I'm straying from the reference. Well, I'm kind of doing more justice to the reference, honestly. The reference had a lot more pinkishness and also a lot of yellow. So if I were to take this in digitally, I think that's what I would do, is like do a soft light layer of yellow so it kind of feels like it's a little glowy. So that's what the picture gave me. And I know that in person it was very glowy. I kind of want to do like a hard line of pink along this rim. See? Do you see? Do you see what I mean? The pink. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. Oh, I enjoy this. And I can kind of create some shapes with these lines. Oh, I love it. Okay, this is what I love to do now. This is my favorite thing. These are a few of my favorite things. Do you see these marks? Okay. I'll stop, I promise. Yeah, I think pink is the way to go. Just in life. When was the last time you appreciated pink? I have noticed that not a lot of, like, it's hard to get a fluorescent kind of pink out of tube colors of gouache. I think that you want to believe that your paints can make any color, but it's just not true at a certain point. So I guess buying tubes of those specific colors would be the way to get it. Yeah. Emphasize, emphasize. See these little marks? Especially coming out between cracks of things, I think really brings it to life. Personally, but that's just my call. Oof. Sometimes, okay, so there's like a live edge here between the blue and the background, and it's so good. I don't want to line over it to get rid of like where it softens right there, so I'm gonna not touch that area. So it's more about like, what areas do I not want to touch? And then some of them I really do. Sometimes it's hard to choose between. I enjoy that. I enjoy that very, very much. Yes, yes, yes. I wonder if red would work as well. Maybe we could have like a... Ooh, yeah. Okay, red with the pink. I know this is super, super small in terms of like the overall piece, what it feels like. But I'll tell you what, when you're in person with it, this makes a world of difference. I wish you guys could be in person and just like see what I see. Truly. Let's see. Okay, Kendall says, I don't know if I can send it through the interwebs, but I can try. Something about something. Oh, the bundt cake, yes. Try harder, Kendall. I need bundt cake now. Alessandra says, I'm trying to get marketing and designer experience. Marketing and designer. Kendall says to Alessandra, what kind of marketing and design work are you aiming for? Annika says to Kendall, now that you're back from your break, I totally think you should post your comics from Twitter on your Behance too. Get it? Annika says, I love the blue-pink combo. I do too. Kendall says, I should do that in the doodle sections. I have been working on a giant branding update. Ooh, just so many little things to finish up for the portfolio. Great job, Kendall. You're doing it. Annika says, yes, I feel you on that. Been trying to update my website all day, Kendall. All day. It can take so long, I know. Kendall says, I'm like 2/3 through finishing my reel, and then I have to update my website in Webflow and add new case studies. Just been busy and prioritizing other projects. Ain't that just the way? I feel like there's so much of everything that gets in the way of like what you're trying to do all the time. Yeah, I need to update my website as well. I think we're all in the same boat. But sometimes it can be the last priority on the list. So no biggie if you're not getting it done right quick. At least that's what I tell myself. Once again, I have to be like, hey man, I just finished a book. And I'm sure you guys have like you're doing other stuff. And also just getting out of bed sometimes is the other stuff that you got to do. So like everything deserves a nice little pat on the back. No, I think I just... I went pretty hard with the red over here, so I almost feel like I need more of it to kind of balance that area out. Maybe I erase it a little bit. Is that weird? I don't care. Oh, it's a watercolor pencil, so you know how I can erase it? Water. I'm just gonna zhuzh it a little bit. Boom! Check that out. That's actually a really cool thing now. See the power of painting or drawing with watercolor pencil? Okay, so this is definitely the power of gaps. Every time there's a gap between the paint, I basically am putting pink in there. I'm not going to do it every single gap because I still want some of them to be that bright, but I do think that there is a power in creating gaps. Semi-intentionally, where you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to paint this on top of that, and I'm not going to paint all the way to the lines. You know, it's like the opposite of what they told you as a kid, where you paint inside the lines. But then, on the other side of things, you can't control where everything is going to leave a gap. So it is a semi-organic process. And I love that. More organic, more organic. Okay, and then a little bit on top of these dark guys, and I think we're good. Oh, I love how it's somewhat opaque. Just a little tiny bit. Do you guys see that? Oh, pink. Just had to scream at my sketchbook for a second. Yeah, this is the good stuff. Just putting a little bit of a hot spot along the edge every once in a while. This is one of my favorite things to do with basically everything. Is you take a colored pencil over your painting and just along the edge of something have some bright color like a orange or a pink or a red or something, and just along that edge give it a line. And sometimes you can fade out the line a little bit and it will just give it like the effect of in Photoshop when you use there's a blend mode called hard light, and if you use a similar color like an orange or a pink or red and you go over the edge of something with a hard light, it just gives it this kind of like pop of color but in a glowy kind of way. Oh, it makes me so happy. Okay, I'm gonna go in here and draw a little pink onto the trees. Maybe I'll go along the edges a little hard. Yeah, I like that better. So instead of going in, I'm gonna go on the edges. So here's the interior one that looks okay, but it's not something special. And then this one has kind of that hot glowy pink effect because I went along the edges a little bit with it. I like this one personally. Hey, Annika, see you next time. Have a great day. Annika's saying bye, so see ya. Have a good night, day, everything. Annika says go follow Anna if you don't already. That's very sweet. And I should be reminded that, you know, because Anthony isn't here, I have to remind myself now. This stream is brought to you by my Patreon, which is a monthly subscription kind of plan-y dealy. And you can support me as well as you can get physical and digital goodies depending on what tier you want. One tier is $3 and it is for updates on my work. You get high-res files for wallpapers on your phone, tablet, and desktop. And access to polls and all sorts of fun things and like little updates that I like to give. And then on the $12 side of things, you can get physical goodies. So you can get a postcard and sticker every single month. And I have a ton of fun with my Patreon, so it would be really fun to have you there. And yeah, no pressure, but also if you wanna. Oh, yeah! Okay, so I've added a lot of pink. I still have to do the edges of the trees, but I might actually pop in some red. I don't know. I'm just feeling it. It's a little unfortunate that the bend tree, our bendy guy over here, kind of tangents with the dark line of the cloud, but that's just, you know, a little design flaw. That's totally fine. It's not gonna like ruin anything. It's just a funny little, hey, it's an inside joke with you and I, right? Wonky tree, what are you doing? Silly guy. There you go. Going back and forth between the red and the pink. Alrighty dighty. Ooh, can't forget these guys. Just a little touchy touch. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All right, now we should start thinking about what our next piece is gonna be, because I think we're almost done here. Check it. Check it out. So I think, oh, actually, we totally forgot our other trees. I was like, wow, this feels really blank. Guess why? Okay, so for this, I think maybe I'll try out some of this. This is a dark brown Prismacolor Verithin. I'm gonna try it on here and see what it's like. Yeah, it's just dark. You can see that tiny little patch. So it doesn't really add too much to our color scheme, but it does allow for a nice darkness. So I'm gonna just do some branches, and this is kind of a, no, it's fine. We can take our time. I was gonna say like, oh, this is kind of a time suck of a task, but that's kind of why we're here. Sometimes I feel this pressure with the stream to like keep things moving. And I appreciate that. Like, I don't think that it's a bad thing to think, yeah, we should keep certain pace or whatever. But I also think that I sometimes rush my artwork because of it. And that's not what we want here. What we want is to actually see the real process unfold. And sometimes the real process takes a little more time than you would want it to. And that's fine. I encourage you guys to take the time. But I don't have a problem with taking my time when it's, sorry, just hit everything. When it is, sorry, I'm getting lost in thought because I was looking for purple. Haha, I found it. This is another watercolor pencil. I don't have a problem with getting lost in the time of it when it's just me working alone. And I think that's a difference that there is between the stream and like my personal art usually. So I definitely rush the stream art more. And that's just not fair to stream art, because sometimes I'm working on something I really enjoy. And more often, lately, it seems like my only free time artwork is on the stream. So if that's the case, then hot dang, I gotta enjoy myself. And sometimes I enjoy the long slog. I'm not enjoying this tree a ton. I don't like this style of branch, so I'm gonna switch it up and make it kind of like a completely different shape. Which is fine. Again, this is my experiment, so I don't need it to be uniform everywhere. Yeah, I'm enjoying these curves a lot more. Personally, but everybody can have their own opinion, of course. Which side are you? Curvy or straight? I don't know. Oh, Kendall, thank you so much for posting my Patreon. In case you don't make it, you have them make it, do it, you know, personalities. Kendall says for an experience, or for an example, would be make up your own brief. Okay, so this is for Alessandra's question of how to build up experience for jobs that say she doesn't have enough experience. An example being, oh, sorry, I'm brushing the end of my hair, which is very dry. I'm sure it looks great. An example would be make your own brief that would be something similar to what you would do in that industry and make a portfolio piece that works toward it. Agreed. And then Rin pops in with, opinions, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. I just listened to a video today. Did you know that Aragorn was previously going to be a different actor? Townsend, what's his name? Something Townsend. Golly. He He was in Queen of the Damned and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You know that guy? And that is so funny to me to think of anybody else, honestly, in that position. I'm like, but it's Aragorn, the one true king. Come on. All right, now I'm in like Lion King in my head because I said one true king. Remember who you are. You are my son and the one true king. Although, honestly, the last few days in my head, it has been nonstop Lion King already. I don't know why exactly, but Be Prepared popped in there. And then, golly, what was the other one I was thinking of? Be Prepared is such a good song. It's also very horrifying to think about. It's great that we'll soon be connected with a king who will be all-time adored. Of course, quid pro quo is expected to take certain duties on board. The future is littered with prizes. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, that is a intense song, very well done. And what was I thinking? That voice actor. Oh my gosh, who else could be Scar but that dude? I know his name, but I'm not recalling it. Amazing. So just be prepared, y'all. Be prepared. Do 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 do. What was the last animated movie that you watched? I think ours was Ponyo. Watched that just the other week. Although, if it's shows, we've been watching Young Justice every day, so. Or as I like to call it, Young Joystice. That one's on HBO, I believe. Which, y'all, have you heard all of the news about Netflix and the animation studio that they have? Crazy. I think animation will thrive. It just is up to if CEOs are smart enough to see it in that given year. Because, like, there are a lot of artists who are making the point of even if a studio is gone, the workers are still there. The animation industry still exists in the people who make it. It's just I want them all to get paid. I want them to get paid a lot. And James made a good point of like up and coming artists who are trying to find their way into that industry. Are they going to have to just like wait for another studio to start up? Like not it. Most people can't wait. They have to work some other job. And in that time period, who knows what could happen. Maybe they don't want to be an animator after the industry treats them like that. So you lose somebody who otherwise would have had a wonderful voice and career and everything. Okay. What do you think? Whoop. Rin says, oh no, what is it about a Netflix animation studio? I believe they're shutting it down. And just going for, what do you call it? Acquisitions of animated content rather than making their own. Kendall says, it's always a catch-22 with the needed experience to get a job, but can't get experience without the job. Seriously, yeah. Rin says, oh no, oh yeah, it was the Netflix thing. And then Rin says, somehow I forgot or never realized that Matthew Broderick voiced Simba in the original Lion King. Heck yeah, he did. It was Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick. Name a more iconic singing duo. Oh, wait. I love Matthew Broderick's voice so much. Okay. One more pink. Okay, sorry. I spotted one area where I really wanted it, so it was right here. Boom! Nailed it. So, here's the spread. I'm very happy with it. Let's move on. Let's see. I did have this guy that we could paint, which is one of our rug pieces, but I just laid down a wash, and I haven't gone anywhere from there. So we could do that. Also, I wanted to pick up another piece of artwork to show you. Mods, I'm sorry, I should have given you a link to this because I knew I loved this piece and would probably bring it up at some point, but I didn't get a link for it. So this is from, I want to say Ellie or Eli Spencer. Their screen name thingy is ELI __. I want to say that's double. SPENCR. NCER. Sorry. And this piece just makes me so happy. Look how cute. Look at how cute. Look at that face. Can you focus? No. Okay. Anyways. Made me very happy. If there's two things that you know I love, it's moss and dragons. So, of course. Hey, Rin popped in there, and I think Kendall also. Great job. You both are amazing. Oh, man. Rin says, such a lovely spread. Thank you. And yeah, this is a piece that I feel like I need to do something about it because I love it so much. Like, it just makes me feel happy. Look at the texture. Ooh. Oh, I can get there. Okay, there we go. Look at the texture on the moss. It's just like liney and bloopy and so loose. And I want to just kind of do that. Also, how the moss covers this dragon. Come on. Look at that. It's so good. So I'm thinking maybe something with moss. Oh, Corinne Hand is in the chat. Why, hello, Corinne. Welcome. We are drawing and painting today, and we just finished up this spread of some sky. I can use this as like my background now as I'm over here. So yeah, what I'm going to do is probably just sketch out a little bit of something that I want to cover in moss. I mean, I would like totally want to do a dragon, but I also feel like that's a little too direct. I don't want to copy anybody's work. But I also, oh man, I love everything covered in moss. Maybe, no, I was thinking a dachshund, but I'm just getting too close to like dragon longness. Axolotl though. We did just do axolotls. Maybe I do an axolotl. This is another double spreader. I guess this is what I do now. By the way, if you didn't catch it, I painted some axolotls on a stream with Ryan Selfie not too long ago. So much fun. I absolutely love painting axolotls, and I love talking with Ryan. So it was a great stream. And yeah, I am not stopping. This is my life now. This is what I do. I'm gonna do big eyes, of course. And we'll do it like a Leafeon, but an axolotl. You know what I mean? Like they're evolutions. Did they go all the way? I think I made them go all the way before. Now it feels like a flame axolotl. Ooh, that'd be fun. Elemental axolotls. So here's my really rough sketch. But I do, okay, so underneath the moss, I'm trying to think of like how we could do it in a way that still makes the tail kind of the hero here, because I love their tails so much. And then, let's see. So I'm just trying to place moss in my mind. I think it would mostly be on the back. And then what would the base color of this be to pop against like a, well, moss can be a lot of different colors, yeah? So it could be, I'm trying to think here. Karen says, axolotls are so out of this world. They step right out of a fantasy novel. I so agree. Also, Rin says, Axadoodles. Oh my gosh. That's the name of my company now. Axadoodles. Oh, man. Oopsie doodle, axadoodle. Oh, I made an accident. No, I made an axadoodle. Okay, so... what was I thinking? Oh, first of all, I want just round eyes. Maybe even going off the face round. They're so good. They're so good. Oh, sorry, I just love them. And then I love how they're, or like lizard legs in general, get like fatter down at the bottom. My family has, well, it still has one of the oldest, I'm sure, oldest geckos in the world. Leopard geckos. And their little legs are just hilarious. Everything about them is. They're just goofs. Okay, so here's an axolotl. It's interpretive. It's not scientifically an axolotl. I am tempted to go dark with the base of it, but I think I might just be clinging on to the previous image that inspired this, so I don't want to go too much. Oh, spots of moss. Okay, so we're gonna have moss along the back. Then we'll have a leafy tail and leafy ears, or whatever these are called, gills, I believe they are actually. And then the skin color of this guy should be something fun. What if we do pink? Because we've been such in a pink mood. Pink and green? Lovely. Yeah, I do love pink and green. I'm convincing myself of this. This is a highly exact sketch. It's gonna be exactly this. Rin says, oops, all axadoodles. I love it. Oh, man. Oh, man. I agree. I agree with everyone. You're all good ideas. You're all good ideas. Okay, so what we're gonna do is clean out this brush that's mostly blue. We can use that for our greens. Should we do green or pink first? Let's do pink first. So I'm gonna use my other one, my other paintbrush here. I'm gonna get out some fresh white. What are you? You're primary blue. Get out of here with that nonsense. We don't need your primary blues. We need your titanium whites. Yeah. Titanium white. Okay. Oh my gosh, screw back on. There we go. Getting some red, getting some white. All right, let's flip this around so you can see it. So here's our fresh white. Here's our old red. Looks like blood. And then get our fresh white. This is definitely more on the orangey side of the reds. So it gets a nice pink, or peachy pink. Peachy pink. Excellent, excellent. Yes, good, good. I'm gonna use this as our little tester page. It'll dry darker, so I might make it a little bit lighter. Okay, and then we will go basically all over. I might eventually, oh yeah, that's what I'll do. So with my red colored pencil over top, I think I will do a little bit more red at the tootsies so that they kind of have a blushiness to them. That's at least the plan. And then right around the edges here where the gills meet the head, I'm gonna blend that eventually. Then we'll have a hard edge between the moss that's creeping up over the head and the face. And I think with the eyes, I want to go gold because I really like having that kind of otherworldly glow kind of feel to the eyes. Just like Corinne said, these guys jump right out of a fantasy novel, so we want to lean into that, you know? Also, Corinne, you have any good books that you've read lately? Anybody got good fantasy vibes? Because I just finished the Kyoshi books that Anthony lent me, and they're real good. I enjoyed them quite a lot. If you're a fan of the Avatar universe, you should definitely check them out. Beep, bop. There's just moss on its back, so I'm going along that kind of implied edge. That's going down the arms a little bit, and then I've got the gills, and everything else is going to be pink, just as a base. I'm gonna be able to like paint over a lot of this with the greens of the leaves on their gills, so not really worried about that. And then I think I might do a background of black to make it really pop. So I'm not being super careful with the outline, but even if I want to like fix it up later and I want to keep it white, then I can always go in there with that white ink and just crispen up the edge. So I'm not super afraid of that. It's all good. Pink. They're goofy little feet. I at least like to stylize them as like little starbursts. They're just silly. Make no sense. There, Pinky. Pinky in the brain. Okay, looks a little weird without any other colors, but it's all good. I want to go in with a very warm green, and then I'm probably going to add some, probably going to add some oranges and yellows to the green as well, so that we get a nice transition into those warm colors. Probably going to go just with sap green. Start with the tail. I think I want to add some white. Beep bop. Oh yeah. See these colors together? I don't know if you can see them very well, but yeah, it's the good stuff. Grant says, I'm reading so many. Crescent City is really good if you want mystery, fantasy, romance, all in one. Well, I want it all, and I want it now. Beep, beep. Crescent City. Okay, thanks for the rec. Like I told you already, but I haven't told the other people. I really need to get a library card so that I can get into... I know that there's access to audiobooks, but also just books. I would really like to read, especially children's books. I've heard from so many authors that you need to keep up on what's popular in the industry now, and not a lot of people can just afford to get like book after book after book. So libraries are kind of magical in that way, that they allow you to try out, what am I saying? Take out the books, rent them, whatever you call it, and you get that industry knowledge without having to buy every single book. Because you're supposed to do research of like 50 books per month or something. Like, I can't afford that. So sorry. So I think that's super clutch, getting a library card. Plus, we should just support our libraries. They are truly magical places. Full of potential and wonder. Ooh, Kendall says strawberry axolotl. I love that. Ugh. Library cards are also frequently have canopy, says Kendall. Some good films on there. Ooh, love that. Alessandra says, love these colors. Thank you. Corinne says, well, reading, as in I have many books started but not finishing, lol. Anyone else do that? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that it's kind of, 'tis human nature to just kind of start books and leave them. Just because that's, sometimes your attention wanders. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to go for a little bit of this like more bluey green right here, and then mix it in with the sap green that we have going on. I'm going to get a little bit more of the sap green than the white, so it's going to be more saturated and dark. And then going in for the moss. Mossy moss. And I'm just going to go for a broad coverage. These are pretty basic colors right now, just like they don't have any nuance to them. They're just, here's a color, which is exactly where I want to begin, because that's like the layering approach that I want to try out, which is going in with other colors of paint as well as watercolors. Or I mean, not watercolors, pencils. Wow, colored pencils. I don't know why today I just keep on saying words that I'm like, wait, no, I wasn't thinking for a second. I said the wrong word. That's okay, though. Maybe it's just because my brain has been completely overloaded the last few days. This morning, even after I submitted the files yesterday, they came back on the book and said, actually, could we have the files in a certain way, because they wanted to be able to move certain aspects of things around. And I was like, okay. And then I spent like the entire first half of the day just making the files the way they wanted them to be, which isn't something that like I could have predicted or whatever. It was just like, this is just what I have to do to make it happen. And yeah, it's just a reminder that happens all the time. This is not like a one and done, oh hey, I turned it in so my job is done here. It's like, no, it keeps continuing. You're never truly done. You're never truly free. I even have another book that I was working on for months that I gave all the files to, and my person that was, like, my contact was like, okay, so if we have any issues, we'll contact you, but if we don't, this is the end, bye. And I mean, she said it in a very nice way. I'm just saying, like, that's the general gist of things. Like, if there were no issues, then they just wouldn't contact me and everything would be good. And they haven't contacted me, so I'm like, that's the sign that it's done, right? But like, at what point do you feel like you're actually really for sure done? Because they could still come back, but like, how long is long enough? I don't know. It's silly. I know. But this is the life, okay? Publishing is weird. Ooh, Kendall says a lot of times, wait. Oh, wait. I caught something in the middle of it. They usually give you a certain number of free films you can watch. Depends on the library how many Canopy films. Oh, that's so cool. I'm down for any free films. Elisandra's asking, how's Anthony doing? As far as I know, he's doing okay. He's just still healing from his illness, unfortunately. But he's not dying or anything. It's just not feeling 100%. So he'll be back when he feels better. But for now, just send him the good vibes, baby. Yellow. I love gold. Look at the gold. He's silly. I'm gonna add a little bit of the gold to the tail. Wow, it's crazy how much it reactivates the paint. What if we did like tips of gold orange? Cool. I'm into it. I need more blending of the pink and the green. So I'm going to go in here with just water on my brush and just kind of blend this area out a little bit. Hopefully successfully. Who knows? There's a lot of pigment in these paints, as in like I laid it on in a way that wasn't thin, and so I'm curious how this will change from like a thin, like when we were blending this part out, it was pretty thin, especially the darker purple pink part below. So I think it's a little bit different blending this area and this area, but we'll just see how it goes. I really want to touch it, but I know that like touching it before it's dry will not do anything good. So let's give ourselves a little mental reprieve. Let's do... Oh wait, is this the one with the gold rug? It is, unfortunately. Darn it. Okay. Well, we'll set that aside for a moment. See if there's anything unfinished in here that we'd like to work on. Not that. There's something in here somewhere, I promise. Eh. Alright, we'll start from new. Yeah, I'm going straight in. What of it? Boom. Green cat. Tiniest little paws in life. Just little boops. Look at that. As it's drying, I could probably add some different colors in here and have it be kind of mossy as well. Moss cat strikes again. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Painting is so fun. Ah, matcha cat, Kendall says. Matcha neko. I love it. Oh, it's time. We did it. Wow. Oh, Ren says, "No, Anthony, we all hope you feel better quickly." Absolutely. Sending him all the good vibes. Corinne says, "Soft moss kitty." Elisandra's asking, did I make the booklets myself? No, but they were actually made by a friend of mine called Julia Tian, who has been in the chat before. She is also an artist, and she made these handmade, hand-sewn. Look at that. It's craftsmanship. It's impeccable. And also painted on the back here. Oh. And also on the insides of these. They're gorgeous. And she gave me 3 of them. These are all kind of like different sizes. They're like around 3 inches, I'd say. And they have been such a wonderful gift. If you guys want to give an artist a really great gift, this is one of them, I have to say. I have more gifts that I've gotten recently that I need to post about because I took these beautiful pictures of everything that I have been sent lately. And I still have to post about it. I've been so scatterbrained lately. It's very hard for me to, like, I don't know, post things, keep up with the socials, be social. Just have a lot of hang-ups about it for some reason. And that's okay. It's just kind of frustrating when you want to be, I don't know, on top of things and, like, reply fast and do the thing and, like, post about stuff. Like, genuinely, I want to. And yet your brain's just like, nah, we're not doing that. In fact, we're going to make you miserable about it. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Just a reminder to take care of your mental health, guys. I don't necessarily think I'm neglecting myself or anything. It's much more that sometimes you just can't be perfect. And you gotta, like, forgive yourself for that. And hopefully tell people so that they don't feel hurt by your imperfections, your flaws. If I ever don't reply to you guys, just know it's not you. It's me. Genuinely. But I refuse to feel bad about getting gifts and not being perfect in my own standards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forgive myself, and then I'm going to post about it when I can. and you guys will see the awesome stuff that I've gotten. And in the meantime, Moss Kitty. Look at that. Kendall says, social is hard. I so agree. Social is hard. Kendall says, I've been tempted to do the Cal Newport digital decluttering, but I need to prepare for it. What? Rin says, methinks we all have our ups and downs, our little funks where we have to take care of ourselves. Exactly. Kendall says, it's basically a 30 reset on social media. You get rid of optional online things, but it's hard. Rin says, love this little Moss Kitty. Oh my goodness. Rin, this is for you. This is your Moss Kitty. Yeah, the social reset, I think, or 30-day social reset is a really good idea. James has been doing that lately. Well, basically, he just reset all at once. He said, like, I'm just going to cut out basically everything that's news related and just follow artists that he likes, and that's it. And really limit his time looking things up. He only looks at news like once a week, something like that, and says that it's a great thing for his brain, that like this is the way. So I think that that is a great idea. I, for the most part, don't have news blaring in my face, but I do follow several artists who are very news active, I would say. I don't know. There's a way to say that. But I don't want to unfollow them. It just, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, no, I need to know. And then another part of me that's like, you don't need to know. It's fine. You really don't. It's not important. Not for you. Not right now. And there's definitely like a line to find where sometimes you're just hurt by information rather than it being important for you to know. So we're all kind of navigating that and trying to figure out the best way to deal with the world that we live in. It's all experimental. So if you guys find some good ways, some good techniques, you let me know. We can just share more and more about it. I'm just kind of using the red watercolor pencil, going in here and kind of outlining some stuff. I definitely want to do a background of some sort. This hand. Usually I like goofy little hands, but this one's killing me. I think I need it to be like goofy in a different way. Yeah, that's better. So I'll fix that. But anyways, in the meantime, we've created one finished one, which is this baby. I love it. It's beautiful. And then we have some unfinished ones, which is Moss Kitty and Moss Axolotl. Forest Axolotl. Pinky. That grew stuff on him. I definitely will integrate the pink more, so that it's not just like pink with green slapped on it, but that's all a process, so we're in the middle of it. And until next time, I might work on these on my own. I really feel like making traditional art. I just am loving it so much. So who knows what I'll make until next time. Oh my gosh, Rin says our high today was 91 with humidity. Ugh, 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 ugh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Kendall says, matcha cat and strawberry axolotl. How perfect. We're just flavorful here, you know? The flavorful creators. There's gotta be a pun in there somewhere. Flavor painting. Flavating. No, that's weird. Okay. Rin says, I live under a rock sometimes. I think sometimes that's the way to go. Kendall says, I think I should just take breaks from things like less TikTok, for example. Agreed. Sometimes the mindless scrolling is just purely superfluous. Like, you don't need it. Kendall says, we're still flexing between cold and hot, then also fire. Ugh. Alessandra says, we still have 50-degree weather. Sigh. Corinne sounds very fun. It says very fun ideas. Aw. Rin says, little boba mascots. Oh my gosh. Can we make our own boba packaging and then just have matcha cat and strawberry axolotl? Strazolotl? Kendall says, I miss my boba place. Oh my gosh, I might need boba. Still waiting for them to reopen after the smoke damage. Dang. Smoky flavor in your boba. I'm so sorry, Kendall. Everybody, best wishes to Kendall, and maybe send a few fun gifts because she's going through so much rough stuff. I feel like Colorado in general just needs a break, man. How about everywhere that's had a wildfire in the last like 3 or 4, 10 years just gets like a free, I don't know, life. A free life. Like you just get your life paid for. Sound good? Sound good. Okay. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me on this fun little painting without camera day. I appreciate you hanging out with me and getting to celebrate this past deadline kind of feeling. Anthony will hopefully be back very soon. And until then, remember to get vaccinated, wear a mask, get boosted, be kind to yourself and to others, and remember that you are loved. And we will be back again next week. See you later. Bye. And then it's just me in the after party. Corinne says, bye. Corinne says, thank you so much for joining us today, friends. Remember, there's a Discord. Yeah. On the Discord, post your pets in the animal channel. I would love to see them. And Taylor, if you're still around, I'm so sorry about your little paw pal passing. Wow, that was a lot of peas, but he looked like he was in a very, or they were in a very ripe old age, and that means that you gave them a wonderfully long life, and I really hope that is a solace of some sort. Ren says time for Anna's sock puppet voice acting. Oh, hi there. That was Mickey. I don't know. What's a voice, man? Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. That's for my old gaffer. I'm Sam. Kendall says Rainbow Bridge. Sigh. Absolutely. There's a lot of Rainbow Bridge action lately. It's not fair, but also it is a privilege to have furry ones in our lives as long as they can be. Oh man, I want a pet, you guys. I need one. This is important. Life is a half-life without companionship of some sort, and animals are part of that. I need animals. Ah! It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Someday I will just inundate you guys with so many pictures and paintings and just gushing about my new pet. It's gonna be great. Until then, remember to hug your pets for me. Please, like, if you're hugging them and petting them, just think, like, do that twice, because I would do it like 10 times. And so you're meeting me in the middle. Sound good? Sound good. All right, for realsies, go check out some other streamers on Behance. They're all awesome. And until next time, bye.